We've long dreamed of a future where robots did everything for us, but could they one day end up leaving us obsolete, maybe taking our jobs? Or on the flip side, could they solve a lot of our problems, doing dangerous tasks, or maybe even caring for the elderly or infirm? So all in all, what is the future of robots? Joining me now is Bruno Bonnell, one of the leading experts of robotics in France. Bruno, what kind of robots are being developed now, and is there a kind of trend in robots?
Robotics is changing the whole world, so we don't see precisely trends. You know, we lived an industrial revolution, now we're living an industrial Robolution, as I call it, meaning that every single object, every single things we do in life will be changed by intelligence brought to machines. So for instance, having a driving license in 20 years might just be a hobby or a luxury, because you will see cars that will be able just to drive you by themselves. If you look at health services, a lot of surgical operation will be made by robots with an efficiency probably significantly better than the one we have today.
So what timescale are we looking at?
Well, the revolution already started. For instance, the vacuum cleaner business. 5 years ago, worldwide, it was something like 100,000 units sold. Last year, it was 10 million products sold. So you can see that in some categories of robotic already, you have efficient sales and significant sales of robots.
Well, we obviously have to talk about jobs. So what kind of jobs will robots replace in the future? And should we be worried about this?
We have to remember that in the industrial history of the world, a lot of jobs have actually vanished, right? When machines came on board, a lot of traditional businesses went just off. But at the same time, you had generation of brand new jobs. So if we want to talk about what is going to disappear because of robotic, you want to talk about what is going to happen in robotic.
What sectors do you think will benefit most from robots?
All the sectors. Something as surprising as agriculture. Nobody would have believed that agriculture would have used drones, you know, to see how corns are growing. Nobody would have thought that one day you would trust enough a robot to actually make an operation inside a human body. And we've seen even in the brain now, we have robots operating. So I think that the size of the market, that's why I call it Robolution. The size of the market is simply everywhere.
Well, moving on to humanoid robots now, and I read a report that some scientists argue that there's no point in developing robots like people as we're far too complex. What are your thoughts on this?
The world was created in 7 days, they say, right? And man was the last one. It was right before Sunday and to get some rest. We probably Monday afternoon, meaning that there is a long way for this incredible success of making something that is close to human, right? But as research platform to analyze the problem like vision, balance, mechanical issues, or even energy issues, they are wonderful platform to work on. So you shouldn't see the humanoids as a solution in the short term, but definitely it's a goal for a lot of roboticians. It's a bit like in Star Wars. You have R2-D2, which is this kind of bright can, right, on wheel. And you have this humanoid robot who is helping, but people for the moment, they focus on R2-D2 because they find R2-D2 more useful. It's the same thing. Today, when you have dedicated robot for dedicated usage, they are used effectively, and the dream of humanoid remains a goal for researchers, but it's an important goal for research. But let's wait till Saturday to see if they're successful.
Do you think robots will ever have a thought process and be able to act on that thought process? And isn't that a little bit scary?
You know, at the beginning of all this, we talked about artificial intelligence, AI, when effectively we should have called it artificial deduction or artificial reasoning, because all this is based on programs, and they can be very sophisticated, like the last Watson from IBM. But at the end of the day, they are based on programs. They don't really include intuition, emotion, humanity, love. And that's where intelligence sometimes is the most efficient. is when you include those elements into your reasoning. So no doubt that in pure deduction, the machine one day will be more efficient than human because it just can manage more data. But no doubt as well, human will keep its humanity.
So finally, what role do you hope robots will play in the future?
When I speak about industrial revolution, I put myself in the shoes of this guy of the 19th century who was speaking of industrial revolution, right? And if I had the same question then, he would have said, well, the world is just going to change and the people are going to adapt to this world. So it would be just natural to see robots in our surroundings.
Bruno, thank you.
Thank you.